Hello, readers, friends, and everyone else out there. It's Aaron Volner, and I'm back with another episode of One Row Reviews, where I talk about how my writing is going and what books I'm reading for as long as it takes me to crochet one row on this project. The books that I've been reading this week are pretty much the same books that I was reading last week. I just haven't finished any of them yet. I have Otherworld by Kristen Miller and Jason Segel. I mispronounced his name in last week's video. It was funny, as I looked up how to pronounce his name last week, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't look like it fits with the spelling to me, but okay. And so I went to record the video this week, and it was just bugging me. I'm like, okay, I'll look it up again just to make sure. And I don't know why this video didn't pop up when I searched how to pronounce his name last week. But when I searched how to pronounce Jason Segel this week, a video of him saying it popped up. I'm like, oh, this is him saying his own name. Cool, so this is definitely how you say it. It's not, I pronounced it Jason Segel last week. It's not Jason Segel, it's Jason Segel. And it was funny, after I did all that, it occurred to me that he's the one narrating the audiobook that I'm listening to of his book. Like, so I could have just backed the audiobook up and listened to him say it there, rather than going through the rigmarole of trying to search up how to pronounce his name, but oh well, I guess I'll do that next time. Yes, but I definitely want to try and make sure that I'm pronouncing the author's names correctly on One Row Reviews, because I have a name that gets mispronounced all the time. You wouldn't think that Volner would be a particularly difficult name, because it's spelled so simply. I'm sure, like, Jason Segel probably feels that way too. He has a name that has a very simple spelling to it. But yeah, my last name gets mispronounced all the time. The most common ones I hear are Volner. People pronounce it like bull, but with a V sound. Or I also hear Vol, like mole, or pole, but with a V. And it is not either of those. It is like wall, or tall, or ball, but with a V. It's Volner, just in case you were wondering. Anyway, and the author of that first book that I mentioned, Otherworld, one of the co-authors, his name is not Jason Segel, it's Jason Segel. And I heard him say that himself, so there you go. Anyway, circling back around to the actual subject of this video, the other books that I've been reading this week, I have... Now I've lost my... Inkspell by Cornelia Funke, which is the second book in the Inkheart series. I have Stone of Farewell by Tad Williams, which is the second book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn fantasy series. And I have the Lost and Found Bookshop by Susan Wiggs. Last week I went into a little more detail on the Stone of Farewell. I'm going to go into a little more detail on a different book this week. Which one will it be? Well, you'll just have to wait until after I've talked a little bit about how writing went this week in order to find that out. Writing went okay, all things considered. Did not make as much progress as I would have hoped that I would make this past week. If you're in the western United States, you've probably noticed that wildfire season has finally kicked into high gear. It's been here for about a month, but the smoke got really thick this past week. I am an asthmatic and I'm very sensitive to smoke, so it does affect me pretty good when it gets here. You can probably hear it in my voice. Thankfully, my medication and respiratory muscle training are keeping things in check and keeping me functional this year, but I am definitely not unaffected. My energy levels are down, my sleep schedule is all messed up currently. So, yeah, writing did not go as well this week as it has the past several weeks, but did still make progress. The part of the story I'm in right now, I've realized, as a result of that small detail that I need to go back and reincorporate I talked about last week. I'd forgotten a small detail from book 2 when I was drafting that I need to make sure I reincorporate. It's requiring me to reorganize a particular chapter. Like, I don't have to change any of the things that happen in that chapter. I just have to change the order in which they happen, which is a really common thing with revising books, but it always kind of tickles my funny bone a little bit anytime I have to do it. 'Cause it's like, yes, This is happening. It just needs to happen over here. Whoop. I don't know why. It's a very common thing, but it just strikes me as kind of silly or whimsical, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, there's another project that I've been working on that I devoted a little bit of time to too, but I can't really talk about that one yet. Hopefully I'll be able to talk about that one soon, but we're in early stages with that one, so I'm not really going into much detail, but there's a second project in the works that also received some time this week. Now, circling back to what I've been reading this past week, I thought I'd talk a little bit about Otherworld, which is really cool so far. The main character is Simon, and he is back at his parents' house, having returned from a boarding school that he didn't want to be at because he was been convicted of a cyber crime that he didn't actually commit, but he wanted to get out of the school and back to his hometown, so he went ahead and let the authorities believe that he was the one who committed this crime. And he wanted to get back there because his best friend has not spoken to him for a while, and he's convinced that something bad is going on and he needs to protect her from it. But she's not talking to him. And so to open up the lines of communication, he buys all of this expensive gear for this new, like, highly advanced virtual reality game called Otherworld that's just been released. And so he sends her a set of the equipment and has some for himself. And he uses that to reopen the lines of communication. There's an aspect to this book that I was not expecting based on the description. Like, I was expecting based on the description that there'd be like this corporate interests are taking over the world and we have to fight the power. And I'm pretty sure that's still going to be an aspect of it based on what's happened in the book so far. But there's also one of the characters has been injured and they're going to use the virtual reality technology to, like, help them live as full and as close to a normal life as they can aspect, which I was not expecting based on the description, so that's been really interesting. Also, the book is written in a first-person present point of view in tense, which usually when I read first-person books, they turn out to be in past tense. So first-person present is definitely different for me. I'm enjoying it. I'm not saying it's bad or anything. It's just very different. So that's a different reading experience. It's been kind of fun. And that brings me to the end of my row. So, as always at the end of One Row Reviews, we're going to lay this puppy flat. And we're going to shoot a measurement on him real quick. So, how long is this blanket? Now, it is... Hope if I used the right side of the tape measure. 24 inches now. That's more than I was expecting, based on where we were at last week. It's okay. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week.